Hey, good morning, Roswell administrators. My name is Matt Aaron, and I am the representative that supports the state of New Mexico and Roswell schools with Boardworks. So we're very excited to have you with us today and excited to just briefly share a little bit more with you about the support that we are able to provide your school district, you as leaders, and your teachers. So I'm going to share my screen with you and just go over a little bit of the support that we provide with Boardworks, starting with a great overview. All right, hopefully you can share, you see my screen with me okay. Again, just a brief introduction and kind of a training this morning for you, the administrators in Roswell. First and foremost, again, my name is Matt Aaron. I'm the New Mexico representative for Boardworks. I am a principal, former principal, as you can see by my picture there. That's my proof that I was once an elementary school principal. Led 2 different schools over the course of 10 years before transitioning to my role here today as a consultant with Boardworks. Just quickly going to introduce to you Andy Flo, who's our Boardworks tech support expert. The contact information I will share via email with the administrators in Roswell, so you have access to the slides that I'm reviewing currently. Should you have any questions whatsoever, please never hesitate to reach out. Today, we're going to go over just a little bit, but before we do, I wanted to paint a more global picture for you on what it is that we do here at Boardworks. So Boardworks provides your teachers, your school buildings with highly interactive supplemental content that covers grades K through 12, and it's meant to enhance teaching and learning. We will provide you access to over 25,000 interactive, ready-made slides that cover grades K through 12 and provide over 18 content areas that every single teacher, user, administrator, instructional aide, substitute teacher can have access to support the learning in Roswell. Now, our goal is simple. We want to empower every single teacher to be able to engage students at the highest of levels and ultimately improve that student's success regardless of the learning outcome, regardless of the learning environment. So simply put, we support instruction. We are not a curriculum. We're not designed to be a curriculum. We are a supplemental resource that gives your teachers some optionality to ensure that they are engaging students at the highest of levels and that we can enhance the learning outcome for your students. We want to keep teachers teaching. We want them to focus on the job at hand, which is provide high levels of instruction to your students. So a little bit more about Boardworks. This is an online platform for teachers. Presentations or lessons can be shared with students through their one-to-one devices that you guys have provided them. We will work on any type of device, Chromebooks, MacBooks, laptops. Teachers that we can work on mom and dad's cell phone. So teachers could send out lessons to the parents and bridge that gap between school and home. For you techie folks in the room, all of our presentations run on HTML5, which simply means we require an internet service, Wi-Fi signal, in order to work on any device, whether that be at home or in the school setting. That link there is our link to our website, which hopefully you have been able to access by now. If you haven't had your account set up, you can send an email to me. You can reach out to your district administrator and let them know that you have yet to get access, and we'll be sure to get that account set up for you. Briefly today, what we will go over is simply how to navigate Boardworks, how to share lessons with your students, because we do work with every single learning management system. Teachers have the opportunity to customize and personalize any of our lessons, and we'll just talk about a few ways that you can use Boardworks. The best part about Boardworks is that every single teacher can get access. Roswell has invested in Boardworks. We are a one-time purchase for a lifetime license. There's a small annual renewal fee that covers free updates, any standards that may need to be realigned. We will take care of all of that for you. Part of our partnership includes free professional development, which you are being introduced to today. We'll also share with you a teacher support site and an administrator support site, which allows you to have some analytics for you to review which teachers are using Boardworks at the highest level and which teachers may need a little bit of support along the way. Please know that all of the resources you have purchased are available to you. So if you ever have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or Andy or someone at the district level. And then, of course, thank you for the work that you do in leading your schools, in leading your teachers, and ultimately desiring the highest levels of success for your students. So I'm going to stop sharing just for 1 minute, and we're going to transition screens, and we will take a look at Boardworks. So you are looking at our login screen, and this is the same site that teachers and students go to. So just a quick overview, your teachers will log in with an email address and a password, single sign-on with Google, if that makes life a little bit easier in your school district. You'll notice when students log in, we are free of any student data, which means that there are no student emails, there are no student passwords. And your teachers, especially the teachers in K-1-2 classrooms, appreciate that because you know how hard it is for kindergartners to type in their password. Because of that student data piece not being available, we really want to focus our efforts on providing your teachers access to ready-made content. And that's the lane that we've chosen to stay in with Boardworks. So it's important to know what we do. It's also important to know what we don't do. And so what we don't do is provide your teachers access to any assessment information. What we find is that teachers already have a large amount of assessment data telling them what students are doing well and telling them what students need support in. So once they've been able to analyze that data, you can come to Boardworks and be able to find content to support student strengths or students' areas of need, which is what we're looking at now. So once teachers log in, you will immediately be given access to all 18 of our core content areas and our 19th grammar and skills toolkit lesson. Okay. Upon logging in, teachers can find any content area. Simply click on that content area and you will be taken to your library of resources. Now, the really neat part is that regardless if you are a high school administrator, middle school, elementary administrator, the teachers that access our content are going to find the very same layout for each of the content areas they access. Lessons will be aligned here on the right-hand side. I can keep scrolling down here and just see the library of content available in Algebra 1. I can look over here at the left-hand side and be given access to the standards. By clicking on any of the blue ribbons that you see, teachers will be immediately taken to that larger unit of study. They can drill down and unpack any of these units of study before finding the lesson that supports their level of instruction. Now, once I unpack that, I can drill down a little bit deeper and you'll find the standard that's going to be supported in the state of New Mexico, along with the lessons that will support that. Your teachers will love the fact that they can find a single standard and be able to find 4 lessons that align with that standard, giving them some optionality when it comes to supporting their students in the classroom. Now, on all of our lessons, you'll see a few icons here, which we'll briefly go over just to give you a slight overview. When we do the PD for the teachers, we'll go a little bit deeper into the learning so they know how to navigate Boardworks like a champion. Now, the play button is going to allow teachers to present this content onto any interactive display they may have in the classroom or share it via Zoom or Google Meets or Teams, as I am with you right now. We have 2 options that allow them to share lessons into a learning management system for students to access. The first is a live lesson. That allows the teacher to really drive the instructional process, ensuring that every single student is on the right slide at the right time, but still allows for student interactivity and engagement during that process. The second is what we call a student session. So that allows the students to access that content at a time and place that makes sense for them. They can work through that independently. So station opportunities, blended learning, tutoring, homework opportunities, that student session is perfect for those examples. And then the last icon that we see here is a save feature. And that's where teachers can go in and build their personal library of lessons over time, begin to customize, personalize, or even bring in additional content pieces to Boardworks that allow their students to truly take advantage of the flexibility of our resource to give them that personal learning opportunity that we know will benefit them the best. So I'm going to hit play and just go into a lesson and show you just a few things that you as leaders will want to be familiar with, that your teachers will learn more about as we get into the teacher side of the professional development. As the lesson opens up, it's going to look very familiar to your teachers, to yourselves. Hopefully it aligns with like PowerPoint or Google Slides, where a teacher can use the thumbnails and navigate the content here on the left-hand side and find the lesson, find the slide or the collection of slides they want to use to drive instruction. They can navigate through every single one from beginning to end due to the great sequence of pedagogy, or they can find the 5 or 6 slides that they want to use that are going to enhance what they already do in the classroom. But once they've identified the slide, you're going to be able to click through the content, and it clicks just like PowerPoint. Everything happens on that mouse click, so the teacher can truly drive the level of instruction through that live lesson, stopping and asking questions along the way, but truly remaining connected to the student through that learning process. Now, the beauty of Boardworks is really the interactivity. So as a teacher has shared this content up on that interactive display in the classroom and also given students access through their learning management system, every student can have access to the lesson on their device while the teacher is leading the instruction. So the teacher can showcase many different examples of the slope of this line in the moment, responding to student needs, not feeling as if he or she has to come with so many examples prepped prior to that lesson, because what we really don't know is how our students going to respond. So now we can respond to what our students are telling us they need. The teacher can manipulate all of this, can set it up for student discovery by covering up aspects of the equation. And now on the students' devices, they can be doing the same thing, exploring, navigating, making sure they truly understand the depth and the concepts of the math before moving on to the next screen. Now, the beauty of that is it allows your teachers to be free to move about the classroom, connecting with the students. Because we don't have assessment data, teachers aren't going to be glued to the computer waiting for that score to come in. They're able to see that score in real time. And knowing that we support a wide variety of teachers, experienced teachers, alternatively certified teachers, or maybe just brand new teachers, our teacher notes that are embedded throughout each of the content areas will provide that consistent level of instruction across your school building, across the district. And that's included for instructional aides, substitute teachers, or teachers that just need to be more familiar with the content they're delivering. Those notes will be there as a level of support and can be found down here in the bottom left-hand corner, kind of on that sticky note next to the thumbnails. Now, as we navigate through each of our lessons, teachers can click on the arrows below. If a student is working independently, they can drive themselves through using the same arrows. If it's a live lesson, students wouldn't have access to the arrows. And that brings us to just one of the many opportunities we've embedded throughout Boardworks, which is just a quick little common formative. Teachers can use this in a variety of ways, but ultimately what it does is informs the teacher and provides feedback to the student that they're understanding the learning that just happened. That green line is going to give them some form of positive feedback, where a red line would cue them in to let them know that they've done something that was wrong and we need to try to practice it again. So the goal of Boardworks is to continue to provide feedback to students and to teachers to support the learning process and inform that learning moving forward. I can reset this and go again. I can score it right away, and at any time with any of our interactive slides. And you know that it's interactive by the red stars that are up in the right-hand corner. A teacher or a student can hit the question mark and be given specific instructions on how to maximize the interactivity on that slide. Now, just imagine this level of interactivity across 18 different content areas, 25,000 slides, and what you're seeing is just a small example of what your teachers will be able to have access to across their Boardworks library. Now, let me show you just a few more of the features that we talked about as I change subject areas, just so you can see a little bit of the consistency across the platform. So now we are in elementary science, and I'm ready to share this to my students' learning management system, whether that be a live lesson or a student session. I can click on either of those icons. If you happen to have shared a Google Classroom, if you use Google Classroom, you can embed the resources directly to Google Classroom by hitting that share button. You can post it to the student's classroom. You can create that however you need to, make an announcement, post. This is all customizable text right here, so the teacher can edit that as needed. As soon as that link is ready, I'm going to hit post, and teachers have just posted the lesson for the students to view in their Google Classroom. So that's going to look just like this. Students simply click on that direct link. If at any time you're using another learning management system, you would simply hit copy. You would open that learning management system up, and you would hit paste. and that would post that code into your learning management system, allowing your students access to that learning. Hopefully you find that pretty straightforward and simple for your teachers. Our goal is to really focus on the teachers that are not as comfortable or not as tech savvy, because we know if they can have success with Boardworks, your tech savvy teachers are going to take it in right. Now, let me just show you one additional thing before we conclude our time. So just wanted to do a quick dive for you to see what teachers are going to be able to be utilizing in the classrooms as they return to school this fall. When I hit that computer disk, every user is going to be taken to the opportunity to save this lesson to their library. So Roswell admins, every single teacher, every single user can begin to populate this with their library. So we can go back to the home button, click on my library, and now each teacher can organize this library and have access to lessons they want to use or previously have used. Now, the benefit of this is not only does it make it easy to find, but it also allows teachers to edit or customize content. And here's what that means. So at any point in time, a teacher can hide slides, which means the students would never see them. They would never know they're there. They can rearrange the order of any of the content. So this true-false quiz, I may want students to take that first as a teacher for me to get a little pre-assessment to know exactly what my students know before jumping into the lesson. Or if you are a classroom teacher that has a boy like the one I have here at my house, that's a fourth grader. It's very hands-on and needs to have the interactive slides first. I'm going to front load all of the interactive slides at the very beginning of the lesson and really get him interested and hooked. But the benefit of Boardworks for your tech savvy teachers is that they can add content into their personal library. So they can embed YouTube videos, they can add images from the computer and have that dialogue around a particular image or text that the teacher wants to add to that lesson. They can also add Kahoot games or Google Forms or any additional assessments or quizzes that you may have as a school district. Those can easily be embedded into Boardworks and then simply hyperlinked so that now all of the students can access exactly what they need from Boardworks. And you'll be able to tell this slide that I added simply has a black ribbon at the top, and now I can navigate that anywhere I need it to be across my lesson. Now, as you try to grow your users in your school, in your district, you'll be happy to know that at the moment, any teacher can go to that My Library and save it one more time to a school-wide library, which allows anybody at the campus level to have access to that lesson that was just created. So special education teachers can access those gen ed lessons. Instructional aides can access the lessons that are being used in the general education classroom and support learners using the same on-grade level content. They can also save that back to their own library from the school-wide library and continue to customize the content to focus on the most essential pieces that that learner or that teacher needs to be able to focus on during that small amount of instructional time they have. So that's a really quick overview, ladies and gentlemen, but I hope that you'll be able to see that this resource, giving each of your teachers 18 content areas, a 19th grammar and skills toolkit collection of lessons, immediate access to over 25,000 slides of ready-made content that they can use to support instruction, provide intervention, allow for extension opportunities where every single student can be receiving exactly what it is he or she needs, not having to wait. They can take advantage of small group instruction, blended learning, one-on-one opportunities, and the teacher remains connected to the student throughout the entire learning process. I look forward to providing a deeper PD opportunity for your teachers. I look forward to connecting with many of you. Please feel free to reach out at any time. I look forward to supporting Roswell Schools moving forward, and I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.